Hey, how is it going? All right, so a few days ago I had another vending show, and at the end of that show I had someone come up to my booth and offer to sell their entire binder to me. I was at the end. I think he'd been shopping around for a while. I didn't really want to spend money. I offered him $2,200. He was a bit of a gambling man, so he wanted to do a coin flip, either $2,000 or $2,400. I'll play the clip right now so that you can see how that went.
Bucks?
How much would you get?
22.
What? 22? I'll bet 25.
I'd be capped out at 22 right now.
Want to do a flip?
What's the flip?
Tell me, what are you comfortable with?
21, 23.
I was looking at something a bit more
Fun?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Probably not for me then.
Let's do 24 or 2.
24 or 2.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I don't think I have enough cash. Would you take e-transfer?
I can't take e-transfer today.
You can't take e-transfer today. Let me see. You have thousands. Thousands?
Thousands? Yeah.
Like 1,000.
You're joking. Why? Playable?
Yeah, I might not honestly have enough cash for it today. I gotta count. Like, you want me to count everything right now?
Because maybe I might just pick up a card then.
Sure, yeah.
Or if you guys see something you want.
$1,605 plus you said $880.
That's from the 3-pack.
Huh?
3-pack?
Yeah.
I have just enough for the 24.
Cool.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. Because you said market was 32 on the, yeah. Okay.
All right. You guys want to call?
All right, let it drop on the ground. I nothing. Okay, I'll flip, you call?
Offer you call.
All right.
Tails?
Tails.
Monster Canadian tails?
Yeah, and heads, yeah. All right, come on. No, on the ground.
Ready?
Yeah. Heads. That's heads. Thank you, man.
Let's go.
All right, 2K.
So you see, I only had to pay $2,000 for this entire binder. I've obviously already taken a look at what was in here before I purchased it, but I didn't count up everything, add up all the cards. Supposedly there should be a value of $3,200 in this. That's a pretty good steal, but as you see me going through it, you'll see a lot of sealed promos and a lot of these smaller cards that just add up to the value. This kind of reminded me of when I first started vending, where I would be doing a lot of these binder buyouts to get a good range of cheaper and more expensive singles. But it's been a while since I've done that, so I'm pretty happy that I was able to take this in, and you can go through the process with me of sorting this binder here and seeing how I did, I guess. All right, so starting right off the bat, you see I just put these two here for now because they don't fit, but it's 2 sealed promos, not Pokemon Center, the Riolu and the Magneton. And as I'm working through this, I'll probably just take out some of the cards that I think are a little bit more expensive. And as I'm working through this, I'll obviously just take out some of these cards that I think are a little bit more expensive. And as you see, some of the cards aren't even sleeved actually in here, so I'll have to be doing some condition checks and just the whole thing. So first, this GameStop Charmander is definitely something. I remember searching this up on the day of, and raw was probably like $60, something like that. Don't know what the seal goes for, but this I will be taking out and putting to the side. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of these in here, a lot of VMAX, EX cards, some of these Radiant ones, which Most of these will probably end up going into my 250 binder that I, for the most part, give away to kids. As I'm looking through here, there will also be a couple cards that I always like keeping for myself. That's one of my favorite things when buying a whole binder, I guess, is, you know, there's a couple surprises, and those surprises can always turn into something pretty nice. Quite a bit of whitening there. I'll leave that in the binder for now. This right here, I definitely know is worth a little bit, probably $100 to $120 range, I want to say, just off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm not too sure. The condition on it is not gradable, which is something that I do look for when I'm looking at these binder collections. This is pretty nice. I will put this in a top loader. All right, so we keep going here. This I want to check the condition on. Definitely slightly older card. Pretty cool, but let's take it out. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I didn't actually do a condition check at all when I was there. It was very close to the end of the show, and, you know, I always like to rather trust people than to think they're, you know, trying to scam me a little bit. I don't think he accounted for condition on his collector page that he showed me, but I went into it with the expectation that some of these probably weren't going to be in the best of condition. Here we got a few more good things. This, what, $50? The Jellicent. Ooh, let's take that out, take a look at it. Yeah, one thing I always look for is cards to grade, and the centering on the front there just isn't quite the best, but, you know, still a very much so near mint card. So let me sleeve this up in a better sleeve. All right, this was one thing that actually really caught my eye. Ooh, that really caught my eye when I was looking through the binder. I personally love the Pokemon Rumble games when I was a kid. So I don't actually have any of them, and I thought this would be the perfect first Rumble card to add to my collection, especially if you've seen, this one has the Starmie and the Gyarados in the back, which are one of those cards that have the mirrored versions to it. It's a little bit dirty, though. I will have to be doing a nice clean of this card. Don't know at all how much this would be worth. All right, and obviously I like this, probably $30, $40-ish. A lot of these, the black and white, that's not black and white, I thought that was black and white. A lot of the black and white stuff I know probably are around $20, but I'll leave all those in here for now. I'll check out this Volcanion. It's a bit of whitening just on the top right corner there, but near mint still. Keep going. Yeah, he had a lot of these cool Japanese IRs, mixed art rares, I guess, mixed with English ones, which, you know, pretty standard for a collection, but nothing here that particularly stood out to me. I would like to check the condition on the Deoxys. I think this card's probably around $50. It's one of those cards that I do think is kind of underrated. I might be keeping this for myself as well. It's a little bit top heavy on the front. I don't know if you see that there, but that art is just beautiful. Yeah, it's even more clear on the back when you look, but no whitening at all. It's kind of crazy to see, especially in this binder. Yeah, I'll be sleeving this up. I'll take a closer look at it. Maybe I'll send it to grading, take that chance, because it doesn't look too bad, but I also wouldn't be confident that it'd get a 10. Oh, I didn't even notice this earlier. There's 2 Roserades in here just stacked on top of each other. I guess I'll put this in this slot for now, but that's cool. Again, nothing too special in here. Let's check the condition on the Radiant collection. I do remember he actually mentioned this, maybe, that it wasn't in the best condition, so let's see. Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's just a creased corner there as well. I don't know if you could see it as well on the camera, but still a really cool card. I always have trouble selling damaged cards, so I like it. Maybe I'll just end up keeping this card, who knows, but for now I'll put it with the others. You're probably looking at this right now and it's like, why is this worth even remotely close to $2,000? But there's a couple cards in here that do bring the value up, but for the most part, it is a lot of these things, which range from like, I don't know, 10 to 20, $25. Yeah, this pretty standard. I know this I looked at on the day of, and there's a crease right there and there. So again, another damage card, but yeah, when the back, there's no whitening really, as opposed to the other one, but that crease does go pretty crazy. I think this will be a personal keep, but for now, I'll leave this all in here. I'll take everything out by the end of the video and divide them into piles of what I kind of plan to do with these, so you can get a better idea of how, you know, the inner workings of what happens when I buy a full binder full of random stuff. Yeah, nothing too special on here. We're starting to get into the part, like these are the Yveltal EB Games promos that come sealed, that came, what was it, if you spend $15 at the Mega Evolutions release date. 3 of those, I don't really know what I'm going to end up doing with those just yet. We're getting into a lot of new stuff, and you'll see on this page, this was one of the cards that is a standout. Let me take it out of this here. The centering is definitely not great on this, if you see that, but no, still a fully near mint copy. I probably have to lower the price just a little bit because of the centering, but regardless, that's one of my favorite cards from the new set. Yeah, we got the other Mega Lucarios here. A lot of these just regular EX cards. And okay, this is where we start getting into a lot of the stuff that I don't really usually deal with. Well, let's start with this. This is a pretty cool card. I like Squirtle myself. And the Crystal Guardian stamp on here as well. And the condition is honestly better than I was kind of expecting, considering some of the other cards that I saw. But this might also be a keep. Something I have just no idea what the value on something like this is, but you know, he showed me the collector. I'm thinking everything will add up to be around $3,000. I'll start just taking these out actually, because I don't like having these in a binder, but you'll see there's just so many of these sleeved promos. I don't know how long these have been in there. There's like, yeah, that's outside. There's like gunk on this. All right, 2 of these, a Lucario that, yep, in the seal as well. Like, why would you sleeve these? What do you get out of, oh my god. Okay, let's be extra careful here. I got a little blade from an X-Acto knife. I'm just gonna, yeah. Okay, there we go. Wow, that's been in there for some time. Like, yeah, I don't know what to do with these. Do I take them just out of the seal and sell them that way? Because people don't like buying sealed cards from what I've, like, encountered, at least. I think we're done. Oh, there's one more. There's the Iron Moth GameStop seal as well. Put that there. And you see, this is the other big standout card. So I'm assuming this person just opened a lot of Mega Evolutions, or they bought a lot of singles and decided against that. I don't really know, but yeah, this really nice. I've actually have not held one in person just yet. Oh, okay, I see. There's a little, just like, not quite like a scratch, but it's like a bump that came in on the corner there. So for a second I thought this I could fully grade, but yeah, I don't know. Ooh. I don't know if you could see it on the camera. It's just right under my finger there.
And I do think that brings us to the end of this binder. All right, let me go through all of this, and these are all sealed too, by the way, but let me go through all of this and I'll separate them into piles and I can break down the price of everything a little bit better that way. All right, I am back, and this is actually the day after now. It took me a lot longer than I was kind of expecting to enter in all the cards into like a spreadsheet to break it down, and it took me a while to actually sort through everything I have here. So I've divided everything up into 4 separate piles here based on just what I kind of plan to do with these cards. So let's start left to right. Yeah, we'll go left to right. Everything here is generally cheaper cards that I don't feel like putting into my display case. So these are all binder cards, and once I get to the Excel sheet, I'll show what I do with the binder cards. Essentially, what I plan on doing is to take out the price of all of these cards here from this calculation so that when I do eventually sell them, it's essentially a costless card. I do that because these cards, it's too slow of a movement to necessarily track each and every one, so I'd rather just have everything in my binder essentially be free. So that way, when I do sell it, you know, it's just I log in whatever price I sell it for, and that makes the whole thing a lot easier. And a lot of the time, I do end up giving away these cards to kids who come up to the booth, so I'd rather not think about the whole, am I taking a loss on this? Am I not? It's just these cards are free. If I give them away, I give them away. If I make a little bit of money, I make some money. And the next little pile here is actually all the cards that I plan on keeping. So I've got the Starmie, Herdier, Ranunculus, I don't really know how to pronounce that, Bulbasaur in Japanese, the Tepig, I had never even actually seen this card before, so really cool. The new Vulpix from the Mega Evolution set, Gothitelle, a Greninja, Gold Star, still in the seal, but I'm going to take that out. A Ditto, Kyurem VMAX, the Pikachu, 3 Mega Lucarios, a Psyduck, Dark Sylveon, and the Sylveon EX that is damaged. All right, there we go. So done with these 2 piles. This is my pile of all sealed stuff. So it's like the sealed promos, the Prismatic Surprise Box, GameStop, Mewtwo, 3 EB games for some reason, more GameStop, the Play Stamp Pikachu, Eevee VMAX, 2 Iron Bundles, Riolu, and Magneton. All of this stuff are things that I don't really like to bring around to shows to try and sell. So my plan is to essentially take all of these to a vendor at my next show who carries some sealed stuff and see if they'll just take it at a percentage. Considering how low I bought these for, I'll still probably make a little bit of money from it, and I'll probably try to get trade value in these rather than just a cash payout. All right, let's move everything out of the way for my last category here. So this is everything that I have put into a top loader, and you see there's another Charmander sealed promo here that I'll be opening. This goes for probably 50 bucks raw. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't see that. That card has a very weird cut to it that would be hard to move if I were selling as a single. My original plan was I like having this card at my booth. People are always interested in it, so I just wanted to sell it for, even though it would be $40 less out of the seal, but I'll put this with the other sealed stuff to just try to sell to another vendor because, you know, a little bit of damage on cards is not things that I prefer to deal with usually. I try to keep everything I have near mint. Alright, so this here is the pile of stuff that I will be setting out in the display case or in a box next to it if the display case doesn't have room. I'll just very briefly run through everything and then we'll get into the Excel sheet here, but it's just a lot of cheap IRs, ARs, full arts and stuff that make, I don't know, even though they're cheaper, I still like putting them out into the case because it's like,
these types of arts is stuff that, you know, you want to show off a little bit. I personally don't really like going to shows and flipping through binders when I'm buying things. So even though it's cheaper, I find it's just, you know, it's nicer to have them out in the case. Yeah, it's a lot of these small IR cards, but, you know, I don't even know if I actually flipped through it. There are the Mega, yes, here they are. I'll put this at the bottom. The Mega Lucario, Mega Gardevoir, these are the biggest cards in here, obviously, and then some more SIRs, the Pikachu, Figure Collection, Bulbasaur. Yeah, a bunch of these that I'll be setting out in my case for anyone who wants to buy them. I'll have to do a lot of stickering before my next show, but yeah, going over the final haul, it was definitely worth it for the binder. And now let's move on into the Excel sheet. So moving into the Excel sheet here, you see I have the market price for everything, the price paid, and a category. The category goes from binder, keep, seal, and sell. The total paid amount is $2,000, and everything I bought actually ended up valuing to $3,500. I used collector pricing for anything that was just unsealed single, and all the sealed stuff I went to eBay last sold and averaged out a few of the prices on there. That means I bought everything at around 57%, but what I always do first is I take out anything that would just go into the binder, because, you know, obviously I'm not keeping track of $1 or $2 sales, and some of these are a little bit more, but I do want to check first how much. So all the binder stuff I actually only paid $132 for, so that doesn't change up my percentage all too much. 13254, 132.54, just so I remember. And then I will go all the way back down here again. Control X. And I'll paste it all just right here. So let's redo that one more time. And now my percentage has obviously gone down a little bit to, my margin has gone down a little bit to 61.11%, which is still extremely good for buying out an entire binder. And especially, you know, as these sell, I'll get some just pure profit out of it. But let's now go down to the sealed stuff. So this is everything that I sealed, and I'm pretty sure I ended up, yes, I put the Charmander back into the seal category when I saw that. It is about 90 bucks on eBay last sold, and I would have paid 55 on that then. So looking at, for sealed, I spent $389 on all of this for about $636 worth of cards. Ideally, I would be more than happy going to another vendor and selling these. Not selling, I would be going to them with a trade. If they were to give me $450 to $500 in trade value to pick up some cards that I actually want to keep at my booth, I'd be very happy with that. But that I will have to see how that goes. And another number that I'm just curious about is how much are the cards that I am planning on keeping. So that would be $172 worth of cards. Don't really care about the market because it's just stuff that I am, like, you know, interested in. And finally, let's take a look at the sell value of everything. It would be $1,438 in cost for, I don't know how to, okay. For $2,353 in value. This, I don't actually anticipate to sell all of this for that $2,300 price. I do end up selling a few of the things usually at market price. Occasionally there will be a trade that will bring things up, but overall, if I were to make $2,000 on the, what was it? $1,400 that I paid, that would be a great margin to me and I'd be very happy. But even if not, this entire stack of cards that I purchased will help keep my booth stocked for a very long time. So that is probably the main benefit of me doing this binder, actually, because I was running low on inventory with a bunch of shows coming up. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up my breakdown of this binder I bought. Again, I got it for such a good deal last time. I did end up obviously gambling about $400 of that, which thankfully I had won, but if not, I still would have been very happy with this deal. It is a lot of smaller stuff again that will take time to move, but I mostly bought it just to keep my inventory stocked for a longer time because I still do have 8 shows coming up before the year ends. And yeah, it was nice. It was fun for me to actually break down a whole binder because this was a lot of what I was doing when I first started vending, and it's not something that I've done in quite a while because I'd usually just go to vendors to buy singles now. I do hope you enjoyed the video and maybe you learned something about purchasing large lots if you're looking to start out Pokemon vending, because again, this is what I did over and over again to build up my initial inventory. I can't always guarantee that you'll get these crazy good prices on things, because I do know the person who was looking to sell had gone up to a lot of other vendors throughout that end of the show, and by the time he got to me, I think he hadn't been offered anything higher than it was like $1,600 or $1,800. So me coming in with the $2,200, he was down for it, but obviously everyone loves a good gamble from time to time. Yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for more videos to come.